Hello, this is not a trucking channel, and this is not about Ine-Eleven, nay, this is about truth. I am down here in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. Been a long night, something over 600 miles and 5 stops or whatever, and I just kept pushing it because I didn't want to be in Scranton, so I pushed it down onto... we're going to talk about Ine-Eleven, nay, because, you know, it's that day. I used to make a lot of jokes about Ine-Eleven Nay as a way to, you know, get truth. A lot of people used to do this as a way to attract attention and get truth, because everybody says never forget Ine-Eleven Nay, and yet they don't even want to think about it, you know. And I used to. There's a lot of things I used to do, but Ine-Eleven Nay is actually a happy day for me because it's my first daughter's birthday, and you know, so. But that's different. But I spent a lot of time when I was younger trying to raise awareness about Ine-Eleven Nay truth, and you know, I'll talk a little bit about that, a little bit about what I think about it. But I mean, like, it should be a well-known fact at this point that Ine-Eleven Nay was an inside object, you know. And it's really sad that if you ask normies what they think about Ine-Eleven Nay, they're and if they'll just tell you the official version of events, which we know doesn't make any sense. And let's just give a brief overview of these things. Okay, first off, the towers were blown to smithereens. They didn't crumble. They didn't collapse. They didn't pancake on themselves and come blasting apart because of the weight of how heavy their pancaking was. No, they were blown to smithereens with a technologically advanced explosive called thermate, which is nanothermite, if I'm correct, which I should be. They were blown to smithereens. The terrorists didn't rig them to be blown apart into dust by explosives. Allegedly, they threw, supposedly they flew an airplane into the building. I always forget to talk in Pig Latin. Supposedly they flew an airplane into the building, and then it, you know, pancaked. But no, it was blown apart. It was rigged to explode and blown apart and blown into smithereens. And we know this. There's multiple smoking guns with this story. It just doesn't add up. But people don't even want to think about it, you know. Like, but of course, the major smoking gun is Building 7, which was the third tower that fell that most people aren't even aware of because people are completely oblivious. And then they want to get mad at you when you try to say something about something. But this is because people are brainwashed zombies. Building 7 was obviously a controlled demolition. I mean, the other two were also obviously a controlled demolition, but you know, they have the plausible deniability of, you know, supposedly a plane flew into them and then they fell down. But Building 7 supposedly collapsed because some of the offices were on fire, which doesn't even make any sense because no steel frame structure building has ever collapsed from office fires, ever. You can see pictures, if you Google it, of steel frame office buildings engulfed in flames, not collapsing. And it's just completely ridiculous to think that Building 7 collapsed into its own footprint at free fall speed, exactly like a controlled demolition, because of an office fire up here in the top left corner, and then maybe some other ones over here. And so it's very frustrating, you know, for all of us that have to live in the real world and contend with these brainwashed, brain dead, mind control zombie freaks. Dude, that's most people, and it's really sad. And You'll notice I'm smoking for this video, but I'm actually smoking because I had a long day. The next one we could jump onto is, what was it, Shanksville? Don't quote me on that, I can't remember, but the place where the plane supposedly went down in Pennsylvania, where they didn't find any plane. There was like a pit, somebody dug a pit, and then there was some like garbage lit on fire in the pit. But the airplane that supposedly crashed in there was nowhere to be found. And it's like, dude, there's not even an airplane at this airplane crash site. When an airplane crashes, there's a crashed airplane there. And there was not a crashed airplane there. There was a ditch and some, I mean, it's just nonsense. Oh, and I forgot to jump back to how they found the terrorist passport survived the plane crashing into the building and bursting into flames and the effing towers coming down. But they found the passport in the dust that for some reason was unscathed. Anyways, back to Shanksville. Long and short of it is there's no plane. That's contested, but people will contest all of this. And there's really no contest. It's just a fact. You cannot claim the official version of events is true and sound like an intelligent person. But it's all contested, of course, because people argue about anything. Or they just want to believe. They want us so much to believe because, so many we went and we used it as an excuse to go commit atrocities all over the planet. We invaded Iraq, destroyed Iraq, we invaded Afghanistan, grew opium, whatever. The next one is the Pentagon, where supposedly this guy who couldn't even fly a plane managed to fly a 747 down right along the ground, real close, in this impossible maneuver, and right into the budget office where they just misplaced trillions of dollars. And then, oops, a plane flew into the budget office. The Pentagon, of course, is a symbol of the devil, and it's a satanic symbol. That should be your first clue. And that's where they do their human sacrifice rituals out of. That's where they plan the wars to go kill people, and it's just it's a human sacrifice. And so this plane happened to fly into the budget office, but it was seriously an Ine-Eleven May. And there's 82 confiscated videos of an Ine-Eleven May hitting that thing. We're not ever going to see those confiscated videos, but there is one, like, couple of clips, if you can find it. Harder and harder to find. It's a whole other story of the Ine-Eleven May. You can see it. And yeah, dude, they shot a Ine-Eleven May into the budget office. And now we don't know where the trillions of dollars went because we blew up the budgeting office. But it sucks, because it's 23 years later, or 24 or whatever, 23, I think, or 24. I don't know math, but it's all this time later, and people, they're teaching the official version of events in schools. Their fake version of events has become world history now. And we know the truth, and we'll always know the truth, and it's sad. And I used to dedicate a lot of time and energy to bringing attention to this because it should be the thing that would snap you out of it. Like, look, dude, they attacked us. Like, we're just a bunch of slaves pretending to be citizens, and they killed a bunch of us to promote their agenda or whatever, to scare everybody. And it definitely scared people for a long time, but that's their whole fear trip, which I guess would be the topic of a different video, how they're always keeping us afraid. But it's sad. And back when I used to do things, when I was at Occupy Wall Street, maybe I was like the only dude holding up 9/11 sign, 9/11 nay sign. Oh man, I blew it. Whatever. I was the only dude holding up 9/11 nay signs. And dude, we're standing like at ground zero. Occupy Wall Street was at ground zero. Zuccotti Park was ground zero for the World Trade Centers going down. And I was like probably the only guy there, holding up signs for 9/11 truth, 9/11 truth. You got thousands of people, all upset about all kinds of things, but I mean, you're missing the point, dude. Like, and then, I did a hunger strike for a week. I didn't eat anything for a week for Occupy Providence, and I don't think Occupy Providence was very happy about that. But I was trying to bring attention to this 9/11 Day issue, and it didn't do any good, obviously. But I mean, people who know, and it seems like the people who don't know, they're never gonna know, and it's sad. And I wish there was something we could do about it, but it seems like that ship has sailed. But I'm always gonna, tell people the truth about what happened there, and they're gonna shrug it off and say, "Yeah, whatever." This it doesn't affect my daily life, but it's like it does, dude. It does, because we will never be free if you can't do such a simple thing as face such an obvious truth. Just take 10 minutes, let someone show you a few little things about it. All you need to do is take a look at Building 7 collapsing. Larry Silverstein, pull it. They're reporting it collapsed. It's Building 7 is still in the background of the camera, and the lady in the microphone is like, "Oh, Building 7 has collapsed," and it's like still back there. It hadn't collapsed for like another 5 minutes or whatever. All these things are very sad, and it's a very troubling subject, but it better than anything illustrates the bottom line that they are fucking with us. And we're so stupid that we just take it. We're helpless, pathetic, pitiful excuses for a citizenry. I mean, how dumb do you gotta be? I don't know. It's really sad. But whatever. This is not about 9/11 nay. This is about the truth. And I guess that's that. Love you. Deuces. Two towers.